Greetings to all. Today we will discuss common mistakes when measuring blood pressure. High blood pressure can be a silent concern, but here's the truth. Sometimes the numbers you see aren't even real. Small mistakes when measuring can add 10, 20, or even 30 points to your reading. That's enough to make someone believe they have a problem when they don't. So today let's look at 11 common mistakes people make when checking their blood pressure and how you can avoid them. Mistake number 1. Placing the cuff over clothing. This one happens all the time. You roll up your sleeve just a little, and instead of bare skin, the cuff sits over your shirt. The problem? That layer of fabric creates resistance and often adds 10 to 20 points to your reading. Imagine being told you have high blood pressure, when in reality, the only issue was your sweater. Always place the cuff directly on your skin, with nothing in between. Mistake number 2, not keeping your arm at heart level. Your heart is here in the center of your chest. If your arm is hanging down while you measure, gravity will pull on the blood in your arm and the numbers can climb higher than they should. Think of it this way. Measuring with your arm too low is like weighing yourself while holding a heavy backpack. Of course, the number will be off. Rest your arm on a table or pillow so it's at the same level as your heart. That way, you'll get a reading that truly reflects your body. Mistake number 3, wearing the cuff too tight. A cuff that squeezes too much can push your numbers higher than reality. Here's a simple test. After you secure the cuff, you should be able to slide 2 fingers between the cuff and your arm. No more, no less. Too loose and the reading won't register. Too tight and the cuff itself will raise your pressure. It's a small detail, but it makes a big difference. Mistake number 4, not resting before the test. Blood pressure is supposed to be measured when your body is calm. If you just climbed stairs, rushed into a clinic, or had an argument, your numbers will be falsely high. The proper way? Sit quietly for at least 5 minutes before you start. Take a few slow breaths, let your heart and body settle. Only then will the reading show your true resting pressure. Mistake number 5. Ignoring a full bladder. Here's something most people never think about. Did you know that having a full bladder can actually raise your blood pressure reading? When your bladder is full, it triggers your sympathetic nervous system, basically your body's built-in stress response. That means your numbers can end up artificially higher, even if your blood pressure is normally fine. So before you sit down to check, take a quick bathroom break. It sounds simple, but it can make a big difference. Mistake number 6, crossing your legs. Have you ever been at the doctor's office sitting casually with your legs crossed while they check your pressure? Seems harmless, right? But crossing your legs actually squeezes blood vessels and can push your reading higher than it really is. The proper way is with both feet flat on the ground, relaxed and supported. It's a small detail, but it can completely change the result. So next time, check your posture before checking your pressure. Mistake number 7, drinking coffee or caffeine beforehand. Coffee lovers, this one might sting. Caffeine is a strong stimulant and it can raise your blood pressure by 20, 30, even 40 points within an hour of drinking it. And once it's in your system, no amount of deep breathing will bring your numbers back down until the caffeine wears off. That's why you should avoid coffee, tea, energy drinks, or even pre-workout supplements for at least 2 to 3 hours before a reading. Otherwise, you might get a scary number that isn't really your normal blood pressure at all. Mistake number 8, using the wrong arm. This one surprises a lot of people. Did you know that blood pressure readings are meant to be standardized on the left arm? That's the textbook method. If you measure on your right arm, the numbers can vary, sometimes by quite a lot. Now, there are exceptions, like if you've had surgery, an injury, or another medical reason to avoid the left arm. But in general, stick with the left side if you want an accurate, consistent reading. Switching arms randomly can give you inconsistent numbers that make it hard to track your real progress. Mistake number 9, relying on a wrist monitor. Wrist monitors look convenient. Small, portable, easy to use. But here's the problem. They're usually less accurate than upper arm cuffs. The arteries in your wrist are smaller and closer to the skin. which makes the reading more sensitive to your position. A slight bend of the wrist, and suddenly your numbers are off. While wrist monitors can give you a rough estimate, if you truly want reliable data, stick with an upper arm monitor and use it the same way each time. Mistake number 10, talking during the test. This one's more common than you think. You sit down, the cuff inflates, and either the nurse or a family member asks you a question. How's your day going? Without even realizing it, you answer, and boom, your numbers shoot higher. Why? Because talking activates muscles, shifts your breathing, and stimulates your nervous system, all of which can throw off the reading. The rule is simple. Stay still, stay quiet, and let the cuff do its job. Mistake number 11. Trusting a single reading. Here's the biggest mistake of all, taking one reading and assuming it's the full story. Blood pressure naturally changes throughout the day. It can rise in the morning, dip in the afternoon, or spike with stress. That's why relying on a single number can be misleading. The right way is to take multiple readings at different times and look for an average. That gives you a true picture of what's really happening with your blood pressure, not just a snapshot of one moment. So, let's recap. From keeping your feet flat on the floor to avoiding caffeine to using the correct arm, these small details can completely change your numbers, and if you're not paying attention, you might think you have high blood pressure, when in reality it's just measurement mistakes. If you found this helpful, remember, knowledge is power. The more accurately you measure, the better you can understand your body. And in the next video, we'll dive into natural ways to keep your blood pressure in a healthy range, without stress and without confusion.